Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Lotus Esprit update. So a couple of weeks ago you would have seen my video about bringing this car back from my parents after about a year of no work being done on it, and it's now in the garage and I have been trying to progress that. So in that video I described how the next part of the process is to try and see if we can get the body off of the chassis of the Esprit, and that's kind of what I've been concentrating on in the last couple of weeks. So working my way around the car, doing the various bits to prepare for that. Now I've not quite got as far as I'd wanted to. I'd wanted to kind of get to the point of actually doing the separation about now, but I have got a little bit stuck. But what we'll do is we'll have a look at how far I've got and what I've been up to in those 2 weeks, and then I'll talk about the bits I'm having trouble with.
So, diving right in then, we start with the doors. These are quite easy to take off, just 2 bolts, one at the bottom, one at the top. But be careful when they come undone because the shims and the bolts can fall into an inaccessible pit. Ask me how I know this. The door started to droop, so I thought I should try and prop it with something. A jack later and the door was ready to come off. Next up was a tailgate. First of all, I took the struts off the tailgate. Watch those fingers. I supported the tailgate on 2 plastic ramps, just to open it enough to expose the 2 bolts that need to be removed. It was tricky to film, hence why I'm standing in the way. There's 2 bolts either side, and I could lift the tailgate clear. Next I needed to actually jack the car up in the air. Now this seems to get people on the forums very excited, as the Lotus chassis is weak in places and is susceptible to bending. Therefore I needed to find some wood. This stuff's a bit long. Maybe that's a future project. Anything in here? Perfect. So starting at the rear of the car, I used the level to see if my rear brace connecting the lower links of the suspension was straight, and it appeared to be, which is good. Using the wood to spread the load, I could then get my jack and then subsequently jack stands under that rear brace. Here's some transaxle upskirt, not something you want in your internet search history. Next up was disconnecting the handbrake cable from the rear calipers. Now the cables came out of their holders kind of okay, then they wouldn't come out of the caliper and I couldn't undo the little widget on the end of the cable. I resorted to cutting the cable in the end because I thought I'd probably be getting a new handbrake cable anyway. It wasn't until I moved to the other side I realised that the rubber grommet thing would actually come out of its place and probably would have allowed me to remove the whole section of cable. Oh well, every day's a school day. Next up was the speedo cable. This was relatively easy. Done, it was time to lower the car back down and move to the front. First of all I checked to see if the rear was still straight, and it seemed to be, which is good. The front of the car is a different story. You can see the front part of the chassis is bent even in this view. By using my level, you can see a huge gap where it's bent upwards probably from either towing or jacking incorrectly. We're going to be jacking on a support which is a bit further back, again using my piece of wood. Jacking the front of the car gave me access to the steering knuckle. I sprayed it liberally with penetrating fluid, and I was a bit sad it went all over my new floor. After spraying them with all that stuff, the bolts came out relatively easily. However, getting that universal joint off of the splines was a different story, and I still haven't managed to do it. So I moved to the pedal box for a change of scenery. It's so tight in there, and it took me so long just to get this one bolt out on the left hand side. The other bolts seem to be stuck fast, so that's as far as I got. It's a little bit disappointing, but 1 out of 4 is still better than none out of 4.
Right, so some progress there, but I am a little bit stuck with the pedal box and the steering column. I think stuck maybe is a too harsh a word. I just need to persevere with it, and eventually I'll get those bits off. And then it's just a couple of things to poke through the body before I actually go for separation. So that'll be the next Lotus Esprit update, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks once I've done all of that. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this small update on progress so far, and I'll be back soon again with more on this car. So thanks for watching, see you again soon, bye. Yes.